What's going on, guys? Welcome to my review of The Wolfman, the latest Universal monster to get a reboot done under the Blumhouse umbrella. I've been looking forward to this movie for quite some time. I mean, it was announced all the way back in 2014. I'm a big classic monster fan, and once they added Leigh Wannell to this project, I was even more excited. I'm a big fan of what he does, dating back to his days with James Wan on those first couple Saw movies in the Insidious franchise. I've always enjoyed what he's brought to the table, and he really caught my eye with 2020's The Invisible Man. That movie came out of nowhere for me. His ability to take that classic old story, put it into the modern world, and put the creative twist he put on that script, with the commentary on spousal abuse and the use of technology in today's world, it just really caught me off guard, and I really, really enjoyed that movie. So naturally, pairing him with another classic Universal monster property like the Wolfman, it felt like a safe bet, a match made in heaven. But did that combo work out this time like it did with The Invisible Man? Let's talk about that. So starting with the positives, and I'm going to stick with Leigh Wannell here for a second because I definitely think his talent as a director is what shined through the most while I was watching this movie, especially in the moments where you see the transition from man to wolf, because it's not like a quick, like, oh, I've been bit, I look at the moon, I howl, now I'm a wolf. It's a very slow transition that happens throughout pretty much the entire runtime of the movie. And the changes that are happening in Mark Abbott's character's senses are depicted in really unique ways by Lee Wannell through like special effects and stuff like that. It like switches the perspectives in their conversations, like when he's talking to his family, like what do they hear when he speaks? What does he hear when they speak? And how he sees them versus how they see him and all that stuff. And like there's this cool moment with a spider that's on the wall and it's kind of done through audio and stuff like that. I'm not gonna give too much away, even though it's not a big moment in the movie, but it actually ended up being my favorite single moment in the movie because I just thought it was so cool of a way to depict his sudden increase to his hearing, and I just really, really enjoyed it. In terms of the cast here, I think Julia Garner did a really good job. This is the first thing I've seen her in, so it's my first time being exposed to her. I'm one of the only like 5 people in the world who hasn't seen Ozark. I know people love her in that show, and after seeing her in this, I definitely see why. She's definitely got my eye moving forward. She did a really, really good job in this. Mark Abbott, I didn't enjoy him so much on his human performance, but his physical performance in this movie is really, really impressive because I mean he's got to do some really like wild stuff because he's turning into an animal. So the stuff he does with his body and just acting very ferociously and animalistic, he does a real good job. Like I said, I didn't enjoy him so much before he started transitioning to the wolf, but once he started kind of going down that road and really giving it his all physically, I really, really enjoyed what he brought to that role. Fully swinging into the mixed category of the review because unfortunately that's all I have on the positive side. I definitely have more mixed to negative things to say about this movie, unfortunately. I'll start off with something I guess small. The Wolfman design in this movie isn't that impressive, because this is such a grounded and kind of realistic, I guess, telling of this story that they can't get too crazy with the wolf. But unfortunately, that means that the way it looks isn't going to be that standout or memorable. I don't think down the line when you think of the Wolfman, this is going to be the Wolfman that you think of. It's a small critique, but creature design in monster movies matter, so it's definitely something I wanted to mention in this review. The thing that has me the most split on this movie is the overall theme here is really about parenthood, like don't make the same mistakes as your parents, protect your children at all costs. And I can appreciate putting that sentimental, deep message into your monster movie. It gives it a lot of depth. However, nothing in the end of the movie really kind of ties it together. All the themes are presented to you kind of just through dialogue and not subtly either. It feels very like in your face. It's almost like the movie was holding my hand, telling me like, "Hey, just so you remember, this movie is about parenthood. I know the Wolfman's cool and all, but be a good dad." And I really just like kind of got annoyed by it after a while, and especially because once the credits rolled, they didn't really do anything with it. It's kind of all just given through dialogue. The story is following the Wolfman. The dialogue tells you to be a good parent, and none of it kind of comes together in the end. And so I'm kind of split on it because I appreciate the effort and the sentiment to put kind of a deeper meaning into your Wolfman movie, but it just wasn't done in a very satisfying way. Moving on to the negatives, and I really only have one big complaint about this movie, but it's a pretty big one. And I just want to say, still withstanding that Leigh Wannell's directing in this movie is really good. Where this movie falls apart is just the script itself. There's just nothing special about it. And that's really what made his previous works click, is just really nice, tight, creative scripts, and the Wolfman just doesn't have that. It's a very bare bones basic story, and he doesn't do anything to add to that, and I thought he would. It feels like anyone who wants to write a Wolfman movie could have wrote this movie, And I don't feel like when I'm watching a movie, I should ever feel like, hey, I could write this. And that's how I felt watching The Wolfman. It doesn't play out in a way that's stand out. It's just Wolfman the movie trademark. Like it plays out exactly how you expect it to play out. I mentioned the bigger ideas on parenthood that were trying to be explored, but that doesn't go anywhere. From beginning to end, you just know where things are going, and that's just really disappointing and a real step down from what we experienced with The Invisible Man, where a lot of creative ideas were put on display in that one. So yeah, the script is just overall just very disappointing, and it really holds back this movie and stops it from meeting the expectations that I and many others probably laid upon this movie before seeing it. So yeah, overall, guys, I came out of this one pretty disappointed. I didn't hate it. There's still some fun to be had in there, but I think that more comes from me just being a fan of this type of movie, of survival in the woods monster movie, than it really does have to do with anything the Wolfman does that is special. I had a lot of expectations for it because of the director that was attached to it in his previous works, but it didn't really feel like any of the magic was there for this one. And I kind of just feel like it was a basic by the numbers monster movie that anyone could have made. And so for that, I'm in the 5.5, 6 out of 10 range. I definitely don't think you should go spend a lot of money to go see it. I would wait till it's on a streaming service. I think that's the best place for it because there's still a good time to be had. It's just not what I expected or what I was wanting to get out of it. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on The Wolfman. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. While you're here, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I'll be doing more movie reviews. This is kind of the beginning of my journey here on YouTube, and I'm excited and look forward to seeing where it goes. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next review. Peace.